What's up and good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to another video. We are here in the shop on Dedic's Cat Eye Silverado. Now, SEMA build. Still got this bed behind me, so if anybody wants to buy this, come buy this now. Locals only. Make a deal today. $350. Gone. Get it out of here. Decent bed right there for Cat Eye. No rust. No rust. Florida truck. Florida bed. Give you guys an update. Dedic has been working on his custom air ride rear suspension that he is building for his Cat Eye truck that you can see. Let me try to hide this right now. That you can see behind me there. Well, he has made some great strides in the last couple of days.
It's on its own weight right now, dude. That's like a massive win right now. It could. No, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna jinx anything.
Yeah.
But
whoa.
Massive win right now. Whoa. I'm gonna leave it at that.
He was telling me, was it today? He was telling me earlier. He's like, "Nah, this rear building custom suspension thing's pretty easy, dude. I got it down. It's simple." And I was like, whoa, let's take it easy.
I didn't say that.
So, Dedic's got the truck on its own weight. There is air in the bags. We've got the rear links tight.
Links look mean.
They are beefy. Look at that.
They look mean.
What is that? Inch and a half?
No, that's two.
That's
baby.
two?
That's two.
That's a whole two?
That's a whole 2 inches.
Let me see.
Girth.
Dedic, give us a quick walk around. What are we looking at, dude? I mean, everything's just currently tacked in place. You're gonna drive it with everything that loosely tacked in place?
Drive it. It's literally going out the shop and then right back in. That's it.
Still
That's it.
driving.
Yeah, well, you know, so here's the thing about it. I haven't decided if I like the way I did my whole link mounts on top of my axle tubes. I'm at the point where I think I'm kind of going too skinny, too tall. Not even that it's like a strength or like a structural thing, but more or less just a visual. Also, I don't have the bed on this. There's gonna be a big bumper like right here, so I don't know the route I'm gonna go with. I should be keeping it and just running it as is, but part of me kind of wants to start already redesigning it. One thing I already decided I'm gonna redesign is we talked about how I had to flip the track bar mount inboard to kind of clear this. Well, I already ordered the new end link to be able to clear it the other way around. That's gonna get flipped back out. I don't like how I mocked up a mount over there and it's all nice and tucked out of the way, and then this one's kind of just hanging down in the middle. It looks unsymmetrical. I kind of want that on the outside as well. It's gonna make everything look more symmetrical, more even. It's just gonna be appealing to the eye. Yeah, honestly, all of this right here was just so I can get measurements on where I know everything's gonna end up in the end. So I could cut everything off, do this again on a completely different axle if I wanted to, and know exactly where everything's gonna go. It also helps me with designing in CAD. Now, if I wanna do like a cradle, I know exactly where everything needs to go. That's what this was for mainly, to do that.
Can I see it go up and down?
Absolutely, dog.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Oh yeah, they are springy without shocks, huh?
It's a basketball.
So obviously airbags are great as your majority of your rear suspension, but you definitely need shocks to dampen. Here's what a truck looks like. Obviously there's no weight of the bed on there, but that weight of that bed ain't enough to make a difference there. If I can do that with one finger. Yeah. She's springy, so the shocks, which you still have to figure out your shock mount locations, right?
Yep. Which that's gonna get built in. So my understanding with bags versus like a coil or a leaf is you have different amounts of resistance within different parts of, that travel, that suspension travel. So coils, obviously, you can only go so far before you close all the gaps in that coil and that becomes a hard stop. Leafs, the more you try to stretch them out, the more they try to fight. So you're gonna have less resistance up at top, and as you go through, more resistance, which is why some of the bigger rig trucks are still running leafs, because that's something that they can account for and utilize that effectively. Well, bags, there's a big old chart when you order bags and figure out what you want. You can kind of decide where on that you want your ride height, your vehicle weight, and all that's gonna be. But the beautiful thing is, with the amount of weight on this truck, I'm only gonna be running 20 PSI of air to get the bags at optimal ride height for the weight that's in the back of this truck. 20 PSI riding on that's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna just catch every bump. It's gonna, go down the road as smoothly as possible. And then shocks is where I'm gonna put a lot of my focus in on getting the right valving, making sure, everything is optimalized.
Hip Hop Anonymous.
Yeah, that thing. For this to really, because like I said, you're going down the road, you're gonna hit a bump, it's gonna wanna just keep doing this. And then guess what? That's where that shock comes into play. That shock is gonna wanna kind of level that out, find that medium, and really smooth out that ride.
Well, we gotta go down before we go up.
It air downs pretty slow because I air down with this right now. So.
Okay.
Well, actually.
That's pretty quick.
That's a good amount of travel right there.
All right, air it up.
Air it up.
All the way.
You want to see it all the way?
Hell yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it looks ridiculous all the way up because these bags have like, I think 15 inches of travel from completely aired out to all the way up.
All right, air us up. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
She up there. She up there. But one thing I want to point out, if you notice, there was very little side-to-side movement. And that's because the way I designed the track bar, how I made it as long as I did, but it's gonna be even less when I actually flip that mount around because you gotta think about it. I wish I had a whiteboard right now.
That marker works great, dude. Look at that perfect circle. And, oh, we got 2 breasticles?
Yep. Stacked.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. We're making a snowman?
Something like that, something like that. All right, so when talking about suspension travel, this is how this link is going to kind of act. So you've got your driver's side mount here, you got your passenger side mount here. Same thing here. That was a horrible circle. Close enough.
There you go.
Okay,
worse.
yeah, that's all right. But you'll get the point that I'm trying to make. The longer you can make this track bar, the less it's going to be affected by this radius. What I mean by this radius is, think of this end right here as your suspension travel. You go up, what, 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, you're now right here with this link because that link has a determined length. It's always gonna be that. You flip it 180, it's gonna follow that circular path. So your 4 inches of up travel, and we'll just say that only went in, what, 3/4 of an inch, right? 3/4 of an inch from center line to center line, it is now 3/4 of an inch in from there, thus pulling that axle this way as it travels up. Same thing, when you go down, it's gonna wanna do the same thing as well. That's why you always wanna kind of design it at ride height, because the way a circle goes is you're gonna have that kind of that little grace period right here of where it's not really being affected because it's kind of right in that radius edge, versus a really short track bar, all right? That same amount of lift right here puts this track bar now at a crazy angle like that. Look how much further over that is compared to, that's a huge difference. That's almost what, 3 times the difference?
Right.
3 times the difference of 3/4 of an inch is what, 2 1/4?
I'm impressed, but you're getting better with your fractions.
Dog, working with you and Dave, man, help me. Moment of silence.
Let me just get that all right in that harness right there. Oh, that's gross.
Oh yeah, there's a little something in there. That's why it's so critical when designing this stuff is, you know, you gotta know where your exhaust is gonna end up. You gotta know where your shocks are gonna go, because those are all things that could interfere with that track bar. Also, the differential, your pumpkin, your diff cover, these are all things that can interact with that you now have to either bring one side up or one side down, or both ends up like all that stuff's gonna play in effect. That is one of the reasons why I actually wanna flip that bar over there, is because that'll end up getting me more, well, I mean, I guess point it this way, out that way, making that overall track bar length longer means that same amount is now even less movement. The longer you can make it, the less movement it's gonna have left and right versus the same amount of height. And that's why.
Now fire this thing up and pull it out.
I gotta have a drive shaft, though.
We don't have a drive shaft?
No, it's zip tied up right now.
Yeah, we got 4-wheel drive.
And then let that drive shaft just blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So the original plan was to pull Dedek's truck out, but he left his keys at his house. So in the meantime, we're working on a little project for the next restaurant build that we're doing. This is gonna be for Dave's art project. So we've got everything clamped up in the Harbor Freight table here with a nice little jig that we made. So we're working on that, but.
Wait, are you forklift certified?
I'm everything certified.
Okay, that's.
You see these, dude? Hey, dude, boots, certified.
Sorry, with those, I'll let it slide.
Okay. Oh, that was Derek.
Derek or Derek?
Well, Derek when he messes up. Derek, Fern's a little upset, dude. Fern is a certified forklift trainer, right?
Certified. But that's #1 rule. You know why?
Fern's upset with you.
You're pulling us off the SEMA crunch.
Fern's upset with you, dude.
What?
Yeah, look at this. What happens if somebody runs into this?
Yeah, fuck them.
Hey, you can't cuss on the channel.
You'll believe it.
Oh, you'll believe
It's been
it.
getting good.
We're gonna be doing some non-OSHA stuff today. This is where we bring stuff to get repaired.
There you go. So, since we can't pull Dedek's truck out because he forgot the keys, another project just rolled up.
Boom!
There we go.
For being as
3 hours.
OSHA trained and certified as I am, I really break it the most.
So if you guys remember on our last little trip going off-roading, the one vehicle, I wouldn't say we didn't think would break, but
It broke.
the one vehicle built for that broke, but also, granted, Fern was probably driving the hardest out of all of us who we didn't want to break our things. Fern doesn't care because it's part of the fun.
Eddie was driving the hardest. That guy,
3 miles an hour.
literally. Eddie, they had a speed limit for him. So the rear main seal has had a leak in the off-road world. You just add oil until it's done. Not want to blow my engine, but once it goes, and we're going to be upgrading to a LS in here. Just keep it as simple. Got another mad scientist under here. Just gonna make sure that this works with my transmission, because they do make an adapter for this. We're gonna stay stock because this engine makes about 190 brand new. I would say I'm probably like 160 horses. So with going to LS, it's got 5.3. It's gonna double that, and with the amount of power and stuff that we do already on this, it's really scary. Let's make a list and check it twice.
Do this?
Let me see. Yeah.
Those are the U-joints in your front drive shaft.
Well, you know what? We're gonna get rid of that because we're gonna go TTB. Explain to them what a TTB is.
It is sick. So you have the twin torsion
Traction.
Yeah, or that thing. Yeah. It's sick. It's literally how it's one. Also, you're missing a bolt right there. It's one of the best ways to get the most suspension travel while maintaining proper geometry throughout.
I like how we can't see your mouth. You're like Wilson from
And four-wheel drive.
Home Improvement.
Yes.
Oh, I need to start watching that again.
But for right now, Dedek's got to get this thing back in action. So he's looking at the transmission.
Fern, you're lucky.
Why?
You're lucky we're trading labor, because I would charge out the butt just for cleaning this thing.
That's all right.
Because I don't work on anything dirty in the shop anymore. I clean everything off now.
You know you're
He's
dirty.
dirty in the
He's
shop.
dirty.
He's dirty in the shop.
You haven't showered in 2 days. Look at your pants.
I got a haircut yesterday. Yes, I did.
Fern did it. Do we have to push it off or?
It rolled off because of gravity.
Oh, okay.
Those are my gears.
Does it not want to stay in reverse?
Huh?
Does it not want to stay in reverse?
I didn't go. I was going straight. Didn't need to go reverse.
No, I'm saying, but does it normally not want to stay in reverse?
It wants to stay in reverse. That's how I. It's about to go. There you go. We don't need reversing to go forward.
Yeah.
Why don't you have reverse?
I did before it happened.
Okay, so that's more than a clutch then.
Could be trans.
Yeah.
My rear end is locked. You're gonna take out my reverse gear.
It's gone already. Fern, I am like all the way.
Put it in first.
I am all the way engaged in reverse, and you got nothing.
Okay. Go ahead. Trans.
Yeah, that's not no clutch.
Drop this beep. Just leave it out.
Yeah, that's totally different.
Got to cook one more brisket for this one.
Here's the thing, it's manuals.
I'm in first gear.
Yeah, manuals are easy to do.
Clutch in first gear.
I've replaced this one before, it's fine.
Shoot, Fern's the one that did the work last time. That's the problem.
But as much jumping as off-road this thing does, 1,000 miles on a... It hurts. Put your clutch in.
I'm feeling it out. And we're back. Yeah, after checking out Fern's Jeep, we didn't really get anything else done. I didn't really do anything else. But good news, I remembered to bring the key for the truck. So we will eventually today be moving the truck again, putting the bed on it, and like checking the height of everything like that. So yeah, but Ryan is here today. He's working on another project, so ignore the jack. That's actually part of it. So because I can't put the bed on it because we got the jack right there, I'm actually gonna start pulling all the brackets that we're no longer gonna be using for the build. So a few things we've got that we need to get rid of is the rear leaf spring hanger, the forward leaf spring hanger, some of the shock mounts because those aren't gonna work anymore. And then, yeah, that should be it. I think I'm actually gonna like probably clean as much of the frame off as I can, because the next thing is I gotta start preparing to box in the frame on the inside where all this is, and then I'm actually gonna build a support that goes across and kind of strengthens everything up. So with these frame rivets that you've got right here, we got 4 of them on this bracket right here. I'm used to these because the square bodies, they're literally holding them together. So what I like to do is come in here with a grinder and basically, or a cutoff wheel, and try to put an X in them. Obviously you can only get as good of an X depending on what's near it. But yeah, definitely try to like score it, make a few marks in it. Good news is we're working on the bracket side, therefore if we go too deep we're not going to be hitting the frame. That's fantastic. And then I like to take an air hammer and just basically pop those off and then punch them through, and then this bracket will pop right off. Cool. There we go. We are gonna have to end up putting something back in these 2 holes, just because this cross member back here utilizes those to secure it. So I'll end up probably just drilling them out 1/2-inch hardware, or I could just weld it up, but probably not. I'll probably end up doing the 1/2-inch hardware. And then these can go as well. All right, so with this one right here, you can kind of see there's just too much stuff in the area and I won't be able to get the cutoff wheel in there. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna drill me a little pilot hole as centered as I possibly can, and then you want a drill bit that's bigger than what the thickness of that rivet is. Kind of give you an idea right there, just barely, so that way by the time you drill all the way through, it'll just pop off the head of it, and then same thing, just punch out what's left of the rivet. Just like that, there goes that rivet. Whew, that's another option. I kind of just like the cutoff wheel and the air hammer better, but that works too. There we go. We are gonna need this bracket still. That kind of sucks. That's annoying. Yeah, so this bracket is kind of what mounts. Well, I mean, I could probably rebuild this one, make it a little more nicer here. But this one kind of helps hold our e-brake cables, which I mean, it really doesn't matter where they end up. So I might end up fabricating a new bracket to kind of help pull them out a little bit, because you'll notice later when we talk about it, they run very close to where that forward link mount is. And I kind of want a little bit of space away so that my gussets aren't kind of rubbing up against them, but that's something I'll show you later. When you got rivets that kind of just stick up like that, that means they just mushroomed out a little bit. Same thing, take cutoff wheel, grinder, run them flush, and then pop them out. It's just, they kind of mushroomed out a little. Oops, that one went. Never mind, just do that. Air hammer for the win. All right, now that we got the frame cleared off, we've got our brackets back here gone, everything up there gone, it's looking nice. Next thing I need to do is actually get the bed back on this thing, because I just want to make sure everything clearance-wise works. I know with the lift kit, it's all gonna work, but I just like to put my eyes on it and feel better about it. Also, with that new hitch receiver we have, I need to mount that. Problem is, once this all gets painted and everything, I don't want to be drilling a bunch of new holes. So I want to get that mounted up while we have it like this right now. But to do that, the bed needs to be on, because with the bed on, I can mock up the flog bumper. Once that flog bumper is mocked up, I can put that hitch receiver in the best spot possible, line it up, make it look good. Yeah, so all that kind of needs to happen just to do that. But I've also been waiting to kind of see what that thing looks like, so that also gives me a chance to do that. Problem is, Ryan just had to run off to IMS to go pick up some metal for something else. So I am here all solo dolo. But I do have a forklift. I think we can do this. I think we can get the bed back on by ourselves. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot and see what happens. Hopefully nothing bad happens. Let's see what happens. Happens. All right. I think this thing being on a cart is actually going to make this a little harder, but I got faith. All right, so I think the plan is I'm gonna get some jack stands on the other side and kind of guess where I think it'll end up when I lean it down, and then just lean the other end down on the forks that aren't nearly long enough, but I can run a ratchet strap from the inside hooks. Hopefully we catch it here, and then lean it up on the forks, and then we can just drive back and lower down, and hopefully maybe something happens. I don't know. I didn't really set up much of an escape route, but it's kind of working. I also feel like I need to get the hell out the way. I don't know about you, I'm calling that a win. Close enough. Oh, oh. That wasn't too bad. Makes the truck look a whole lot higher now. Holy cow. Why do I have a feeling this truck got built a little bigger than I thought it was gonna be?
Dang, this is nice, man. I feel like, is this what it's like with you? You get to have me as a cameraman? I want a cameraman full time. All right, so I don't know what Derek, I mean, clearly, you got the bed on by yourself? Just thought about that. That's kind of impressive.
I was waiting for you to catch that.
All right, so I was gone picking up some steel for the restaurant project, and well, apparently it is time to throw a little mock-up of a Flog bumper, which you guys know, me and Flog, we go way back to my Denali build. I searched hard, well, actually I didn't search. It came to me, a picture of a Flog bumper on Instagram. Then I had to search to figure out who made that bumper, because I have never liked aftermarket bumpers. They always just look, they don't fit the vehicle per se. But Flog has nailed it on their bumper. So let's get these mocked up, Dedek. This truck, yeah, have you talked about how tall this thing's sitting? Because it's,
No, I haven't really talked about
it's sitting.
I've been kind of waiting since I got the bed on it, because I stepped back and was like,
Yeah. So Dedek thinks this might not even be ride height. He might be a little bit tall. I mean, I guess it's not that bad. You're probably 9 inches there, 9 to 10 inch lift or so. Yeah. Yep, 12 inches in the front it is. I mean, I guess, you know, if you're filming. Ah, yeah. We actually didn't open these on camera, did we?
No, we did
We did this off camera. So obviously Flog packages their stuff really well. I'm also glad that they found a way to do it in a cardboard box, because man, did they spend a lot of man hours building wooden crates. And clearly this stuff has shown up perfect, and they've got some sweet inner structure here. Everything is bolted down to a wooden frame. So yeah, none of this stuff moves. I mean, this stuff is pretty solid in here. And look at that. This pattern came from my BBB, the Denali. That's where this pattern originated from. And it actually happens to match the honeycomb on the cat eye grills, the factory grills, pretty well. We're just gonna do the rear bumpers today, right? I think, so that's that bad boy, thankfully, because that's the least amount of assembly. And actually they go on really easy. You'll see when we pull them apart. We have this main, it's like a universal mounting bracket. And well, I guess the universal side is on the bumpers, which is a little hard to show you right now. But basically they utilize a pattern on all of their bumpers, which you can see right there in that shot, those 2 bolts right there. So really all they need to change is that bracket, and then everything just builds off of that 2-bolt system on either side. So let's unbox them. Okay, I got the care package.
all right, we're done.
Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got in here. We got a koozie.
Yep.
A metal riveted on hat, a decal, and we got a little, oh, what? Oh, I thought it came with a Coca-Cola, and I was like, oh, sweet. Okay, I got you, buddy. Here you go, here you go. This is for my partner.
I don't think they're thinking of the partner. I don't think they're intentional.
Not that kind of partner?
Thinking partner.
Is it not that kind of partner? Look at these, though. I'm gonna put these bad boys on my hard hat. Some thick stickers. Oh, that one's going on the hard hat right there. Oh. Dude, throwback to like the old alien things you get in like the little 50 cent machines. Yep. Sick. Good job, Flog. Yep, I've done my job here. You handle the rest.
Right. Yep, got it.
All right.
That's pretty lined up for just like throwing a bracket on there.
Sick.
Huh. That's pretty good, dude.
It's less springy now that it's some real weight. So I totally forgot why we were putting the bumper on, but apparently we're mounting the hitch. So we got that right there, this big old oversized beefy hitch that Dedic somehow stole online.
Not steal online, I got it for a deal online.
I can't see. We got a drill for this thing?
No, shouldn't, hopefully not.
Okay. Looking good, looking good. Okay. Send it.
All right, and we are back in the shop. I apologize, this timeline is probably all sorts of messed up. I really let go on this video, but we are back in the shop. It's been about a week since I've worked on the truck. Frank's truck is gone. The Jeep is pretty much done, just waiting on a few more parts, but it's no longer in the shop right now. Just had to get some things done in the background so I can really dedicate all my time and attention to this. And today's gonna be one of those days. We are going to get as far as I possibly can with the rear suspension setup. I'm still kind of playing in my mind if I'm going to end up changing some things around, but we've got something coming hopefully later this week that'll help me determine if that needs to happen or not. Hopefully not, but you always gotta keep an open mind. You can't really just keep pushing one thing too far and then realize, oh my God, I went too far with this. I gotta start all over. I don't have enough time. You gotta know when to like kind of cut that line. This bed's gotta come back off, specifically this bed for the last time. The taillights are getting shipped out. I apologize, I can't remember your name off the top of my head, but you DM me. You're like the first person to actually DM me, and you've been following me for quite some time on Instagram, so I felt it was only fitting. Yeah, so those are getting sent out. That's done. Time to get to work. I don't need to keep talking about this. Let's just get some stuff done, all right? We got a lot of fab work, a lot of welding, a lot of cutting to do today. And yeah, I need to get going, so let's get to it. All right, now that the bed's off and we went ahead and prepped up this area, you can kind of get an idea of what's happening next. So I need to box in this portion of the frame because just on the other side of this is right here is where the bag mount is, and then right here is where that track bar bracket is. So I actually want to build a cross member right where the bag is and go and basically tie in both ends, kind of make it real nice and strong. But also I need a place for the inside of this track bar to mount up to. I just didn't want it welded on the outside. I wanted it outside and inside, but I want this bracket removable. So the way I'm accomplishing that is I've got two pieces of 1/4 inch right here. Now these aren't the ones I'm going to use. I'm just using these to get my spacing, but the inside one up against my boxing is actually going to get welded to this plate that's about to get welded in. And then that's going to get drilled and tapped. This upper one, the one that's touching the track bar mount, is going to get cut in a square pattern, drilled, and then that way I have a 1/2 inch of material that's actually tapped that I'm going to end up being able to bolt this into. So if I ever need to take this off for whatever reason, I just undo those 4 bolts and this bracket will be able to still slide right down. This one is more or less indexed based off of the thickness of these 2 plates because that's what's going to end up being there, and I want them to fit flush. And then on the other side, I've got my little angle finder. Slap it on the outside, figure out what that angle is, and then go ahead and reflect that with that inside one, and that's going to make sure those are boxed in properly, parallel, and everything's nice, square, and strong. I need to get something put over that fuel tank. Those things do not like to be heated up. All right, well, somehow, somewhere, the microphone I was wearing on my chest popped off and I lost a lot of audio. Can't make this stuff up, man. I'm just like going. I'm trying not to stop. I got a deadline here, man, and I took like a week off just now, and I'm starting to feel the pressure, I'm gonna be honest with you. But we are pretty much done for the most part with the rear end stuff. Let me show you what we got. So obviously ignore that. That's just there as a placeholder. Kind of same thing over here. I just threw something that I know is the same thickness as what it's gonna be. I gotta make those little mounts that we talked about. That'll go in there, that'll look good. Something to bolt it into, but you can kind of get an idea of what's going on there with that cross member there. Now I have this cross member somewhat in line over the axle, and what that's going to do, whether I do them to the rear or to the front, is going to allow me to make mounts for my shocks going across the top. So that's kind of like the last piece of the puzzle that I had going on here. Still not a big fan of how my axle side track bar mount is put together, but once I pull that axle out to finish weld everything, that's when I'll make all my adjustments, make it look kind of however I've seen fit. But yeah, so far everything's turning out good. I still got to flip my frame side track bar mount, but I think I'll do that once I pull the axle. Just makes it easier. It's kind of literally just pop it out, flip it around, put it right back in the same spot, and we're good. And that'll give me a more symmetrical looking track bar. Will I really see any of the benefits for geometry? Not really, but it will make it look more symmetrical. And to me, that's what I want. I think we're gonna end the video on that. I have no idea how this is all gonna work out, but I'm guessing you guys know already because you already saw it. So yeah, sorry about this one. The reason why I'm ending it kind of in a weird spot is because we've got kind of one of the biggest pieces of this puzzle coming in later this week. We just got off the phone with our good friends and buddies somewhere up north, and you'll be finding all about all of that here soon. So yeah, the outro thing, yeah. If there's anything in life, you gotta be willing to work for it. You guys are the best. Comment, subscribe, leave a, yeah, I'm sorry guys. I'm out, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. I got work tomorrow. So later, peace.
Damn.